Day two of betting on every single NBA game this season, and we've got 10 games today, so a ton of picks. First up, I'm going Jaden Ivey over 15 and a half points. You got Kenny Atkinson now there in Detroit. They were the worst coach team in the league last year, and given his talent level, over 15 and a half seems easy and a nice matchup there against Indiana. Next up, I've got Trae Young over 24 and a half points. They're playing Brooklyn. Brooklyn doesn't have great guard defenders. Trae always seems to play well in the beginning of the year. There's no more DeJounte Murray. He is the focal point of the offense. I think he's going to get up a ton of shots. I got over 24 and a half points for Trae Young. Next up, Scotty Barnes over 12 and a half assists. I think he's going to be the focal point of the offense. I think he's going to have the ball a ton in the middle of the floor to be able to create. So I like those assist numbers. And I just think the number is too low. 12 and a half assists for Scotty Barnes. He can get 6 boards, 7 assists, and this is an over. I like that one for Barnes. Next up, we've got Giannis over 40 and a half points plus rebounds. Granted, I put this in before we found out that Joel Embiid and Paul George are not playing in the game, so a little bit concerned about blowout potential there, but I still like the spot for him. I think Giannis is going to have a great season. I think he's going to be pissed that they didn't have him on opening night. He's not playing on Christmas Day. Feels like everybody's just forgetting about the Bucks. No Chris Middleton. I like Giannis to go over in points and rebounds there. Next up is Bam over 13 and a half assists plus rebounds. It's kind of like the Scotty Barnes one. It just feels like too low of a number. Probably going to be a bit of a grinded out game against Orlando, one of the better defenses in the league. So I like the rebounding opportunities there. And the Heat, when fully healthy, generally gives Bam a lot of assist opportunities. So I like his over 13 and a half assists plus rebounds. Next up, Brandon Miller, another number that is just too low in my opinion, over 17 and a half points. I believe this has already been bumped up since I put this in. There's some concern there about Bridges' return kind of messing up some scoring opportunities for Brandon Miller. I'm not concerned at all. I think him and LaMelo are going to be awesome together. They look good together in the preseason. Brandon Miller over 17 and a half points. Next up, we got Nikola Vucevic over 31 and a half points plus rebounds plus assists. I think this is a really good matchup at the 5 for him against the Pelicans, who don't really have a 5 on the roster. Maybe they're going to play Tice. Maybe there's going to be someone else out there, but I really like the offensive rebounding opportunities for Vucevic, garbage buckets in the paint. And if they start doubling him because Herb Jones or Zion is guarding Vucevic in the post, I like those assist opportunities for him as well. Next up, the only under of the day, and one that I don't think is going to be very popular, is Zach Edey under 7.5 rebounds. There's a lot of hype around Zach Edey. I'm kind of fading a little bit of the hype, at least in the opening game. I think he's going to score well. I think he's going to get opportunities, but I don't love the matchup from a rebounding perspective. Walker Kessler is a tough 5 matchup for him as one of the few guys in the league that can kind of match Edey's size. And if Utah goes a little bit smaller, that'll take Edey away from the rim. I like his under 7.5 boards. Second to last now, Brandon Podziemski over 17 and a half points plus assists plus rebounds. Again, a number that just seems too low for me for a guy that I think is going to be really good, is going to be improved. You know he's going to get 5 boards in the game. He's going to be involved enough to get some assists. And 17 and a half, I think his points line was like 8.5. Just put all those together, over 17 and a half points, assists, rebounds for Brandon Podziemski. And then the last up, we've got James Harden over 32 and a half points plus assists. No Kawhi, obviously Paul George is gone. This is going to be the James Harden show, and I don't think anybody on the planet is more excited about that than James Harden himself. I think he's going to have the ball a ton in his hands. A lot of offense there for the Clippers, at least a lot of offensive opportunities for Harden. I like his over 32 and a half points, and that is the 10 picks for day 2 of betting on every single NBA game.